going to say recorded.
Oh, yeah.
Well, hi, welcome to Conquering Weight Loss. And today, my guest is Sherry Rothwell. She is a holistic nutritionist. And Sherry, you're titling this How to Lose Weight Without Dieting. Now, that sounds like one of those, sensationalist magazines right next to the checkout stand that, causes people to grab it. Yes, I don't want to diet anymore. But really, we don't want to diet anymore because those diets are what cause such yo-yo misery, really, and extra weight being put on. So share a little bit about your story and how you came to love helping people in this field, and maybe you got help yourself.
Yeah, well, it's really interesting because in some ways people are really attracted to that idea of losing weight without dieting. But on the other hand, we've been so programmed to believe that we need to diet, restrict calories, and exercise a lot to lose weight, even though statistics tell us that dieting doesn't work. And 97% of dieters fail. So there is this like craziness thing, that we have going on where it absolutely defies logic that we keep going on these diets. The statistics prove that it doesn't work. And yet we act like crazy, insane people and just keep doing that same thing over and over that doesn't work.
But it's so tempting because we're promised such big things like lose 20 pounds in 10 days,
Yeah, exactly. And we even have this other thing that happens, which is we've actually had experience restricting calories, exercising like crazy, and losing weight. So on one level, how can we defy the experience we've had? Well, it did work. But does something work if it only works temporarily? Right?
Yeah, right.
And diets by design are designed to work temporary because right from the beginning, we have it in our head like, I'm only going to do this for a certain amount of time. And when I get to my ideal weight, oh, thank God, I'm going to be off that diet. But what do we think is going to happen when we just reinstate all our old habits and the same food that we ate before? Well, we're just going to unravel and undo everything that we accomplished, right? So
yes.
It's really a lot of unbrainwashing that has to happen to just like change our mindset to be open to a different way.
Wow. So you talked to me a little bit about cleansing for weight loss, or maybe you could start with a little more of your backstory, how you came into this field, and then maybe talk about how to do this thing, conquer weight loss by not dieting, and the role that cleansing plays. I mean, I'm just going to let you take it away until you stop.
Oh yeah, no worries. And actually they all fit together, right? Because cleansing was a huge part of the beginning of my journey to losing weight. So,
okay.
Like most people, like I've struggled with my weight since I was a teen. So when I was in my teens, I did the whole like binging and like starving myself and all that kind of stuff, right? I was totally there. In that time, I thought if I were to be a good weight, that meant I had to give up everything that was pleasurable. And I was like, I don't want to, like what I thought it required to be skinny was to eat lettuce and carrots and celery, and that's it. And no wonder people just feel like it's impossible. So at that point in my life, I was like, food is the devil, because food was literally wrecking my life as far as I was concerned. It was a thing that was making me feel fat, and it gave me acne, right? Like I could already see obviously like the connection between other aspects of my health. So, I went through all that same mentality of thinking that healthy food was gross and boring, and, junk food and all the foods that people think are going to make them fat are the yummy foods. And there was, at some point, I just kind of gave up on dieting, and I became focused on other things, right? Like I just got interested in things. I was growing as a person. I put that focus on the shelf, didn't think about it very much. And then in my early 20s, I got diagnosed with mono, and I had to learn how to heal myself. And so in that process, I became health conscious, and I stopped eating the standard North American diet, started eating whole foods. And then this whole entire world of food that I didn't even know existed suddenly opened up to me. So I was like, oh my gosh, here I was thinking that eating healthy meant only 3 foods and I couldn't have any pleasure. But actually choosing to become health conscious opened my world to so many new dishes and foods I had never tried before. So it actually expanded my diet to more pleasurable foods.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, yeah. So then like I just started eating like that for health. And then 2 years later, I'm like, oh my God, like I'm at my ideal weight. And without dieting, without trying, right? Just up leveling my health consciousness, up leveling my health. And I remember saying to one of my friends, oh, thank God. Now I know exactly what it takes to be at your ideal weight. And I know I'm never going to struggle with my weight again. Oh, thank God, right? Mid-20s.
Right.
Right. Which is because it's one of the steps, right? Having that health consciousness change, eating whole foods is definitely one of the steps. But for women after they've had babies, or for women going into menopause, or like the hormonal changes, what worked in your 20s doesn't necessarily work anymore, right?
Truth.
Yeah, yeah. So I have these 2 babies and I never recover from that, right? I never go back to my normal weight. I'm always about 155 pounds after that. So I'm not obese, but I'm considered overweight. I wanted to be back to my ideal weight, but at that time after having babies, I was like, oh my God, like I already eat this whole foods diet. Like I can't do any better. And I guess I'm just going to have to accept this new mom body as my new normal. Right.
Right. Right.
And so I did. I knew that maybe I could diet and like exercise like crazy and get it back, but I already had this like not knowing that I wasn't going to do that permanently. So I wouldn't do something that I didn't expect to do permanently because it would just be a temporary fix. So I did nothing. And then one day I literally woke up obese. This was by the time I was 36. And the reason I say I woke up obese was because it happened so quickly at a time I was so disconnected from my body that I didn't even notice it happening.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So January, I'm still 155. By March, I'm at a video marketing event in Vegas, and I walk past the mirror and I see myself and I go, oh, I look pregnant. I must be bloated. This hotel food must be terrible. This is like literally what I'm thinking in my mind. I don't even think for a second I've gained weight. It's not even in my consciousness that I've gained weight. Like I'm at this phase of my life where I'm like, I'm busy doing the mom thing. I'm trying to like build a business. I'm cooking like whole food meals from scratch and like maintaining order and cleanliness in a house. And I'm just like exhausted, right? Totally disconnected from myself, my pleasure, anything. It's just like I'm a workhorse. So I don't even notice that I've literally gained 21 pounds. Yeah.
Yep. I've been there.
Yeah. So I get back from this event. My mom has us over for dinner and she has a scale in her laundry room and I step on it. And I'm like, I see the number 176 and I'm 5'3" 3/4. And I'm like, I literally feel the blood drain from my vital organs into my extremities. I go into fight or flight and I'm like, I'm just, my brain it can't compute, right? It's like, it doesn't know what's happening. I'm trying to figure out what has happened. Like, how could I possibly be eating a whole foods diet and be obese, right? Like I couldn't figure it out. So I go up the stairs, I'm sitting at the dinner table. Like I can hear people talking, but I can barely communicate with them. I hear their voices going like, whoa, whoa, and things are like in slow motion almost, like you'd see in a movie. Like I was literally living that.
Like you're in the midst of trauma.
Yes, yeah. I've gone through yes, exactly. I just was, yeah. So I get home that night. I look on Facebook and my cousin has tagged me in a photo from that night. And I see the photo and I am so humiliated and embarrassed about how I look that I literally untag myself from the photo because I don't want my friends on Facebook to see me.
Right.
Right. And not just my friends, but there was all the other stuff. I was like a holistic nutritionist. Like I was known in my community for being the person to go to learn about how to be healthy.
Right.
And suddenly I'm obese and I can't hide it. It's not like I have celiac disease and like, I'm skinny and I'm like, having all these problems, but I can like hide it. Right. It's like on the outside of my body. So it was very, on so many levels,
humiliating.
Yeah, exactly. And then I spent the next year, I didn't know what to do about it because I was like, I had already had this thing, like I'm already doing everything right. So I had this thought like, okay, if I can be a holistic nutritionist who eats healthy whole food and be obese, well, then I guess there's no hope for anyone. Like I went into victim mode, right? I was just like, there's nothing I can do. I'm already doing everything perfect. This is what I'm thinking in my head. So for about a year, I sat in that state of futility. And then I had these moments where I'm like, well, there has to be a solution, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I knew I wasn't going to do the calorie restriction or the exercise because I just didn't make any sense to me how that could possibly keep that weight off permanently if I did it, right? Because I knew I couldn't do it forever and that it wasn't even a healthy thing to do forever. Obviously, because it damages your metabolism, slows it down, and makes it harder for you to lose weight. Anyways, right? It's like a cycle that makes you actually gain more weight. So I knew I wasn't going to do that. And I came to this like precipice where I was like, okay, I have two choices here. One is when I look at a lot of women in their 40s and 50s, I see that they're overweight. It seems like that's what most people do, is they gain weight after the age of like mid 40s and on. And I can accept that. And I was like, all those grannies are super cute, right? Maybe I can just be a cute granny, right? There's one side.
I'm one.
And then on the other side of it, I was like, yeah, but I also see all these like beautiful feminine women who have kept their femininity, their shape, their curves well into their 70s and 80s, right? And I was like, well, then obviously it's possible. So if it's possible, then I can figure this out. Right along that time, then somebody invited me to be a speaker on a summit just like this. And I wasn't specializing in weight loss. She just said, I have this feeling that you need to be on here. I don't know why. At the time I specialized in gut health because I had a lot of knowledge in that area and helped my son heal himself of extreme eczema. And I was in one of those moments of like, I can decide right now to say no to this because why, like how could somebody who's obese as a nutritionist, why should that person be telling other people how to lose weight, right? There was that side of me. I was like, oh my God, this is the worst time to be invited to speak on this topic in my life. Couldn't you have called me a couple of years ago or something, right? But then I was like, or this can be an opportunity for me to finally make this decision that I'm going to shift this and do something, right?
Fantastic.
So yeah, that's what I decided. I decided that I would get myself in alignment with my message and actually figure it out. Okay. So there was one thing I knew that always worked in the past that again, it's not something you can do forever, right? Because you're not good. It's basically doing a cleanse. You're not going to be on a cleanse for the rest of your life.
Right. But it's the entree into good results.
Yes, exactly.
Ongoing.
Quick results was what a lot of people need to keep going. But it also actually makes you healthier in the process, resets your metabolism, reignites your metabolism, and lowers your set point because you're healthier now and you have less inflammation in your body, right?
Right.
And I'd had a lot of experience with cleansing in my own body, in my own experience, but then also because I specialize in gut health, I was always using different forms of the leaky gut diet. I'm also a GAPS practitioner, so I use the GAPS diet, other forms of diets for healing the gut. And what I saw all the time was every single time I put somebody on one of these programs, even though they're coming for their food sensitivities or skin issues, et cetera, they're always losing 15 pounds within 3 weeks of doing an anti-inflammatory diet. Mm-hmm. So I knew it would work. So that's what I did. So 2.5 weeks later, I was down to 163. And I got on that call. And that was the beginning of my weight loss journey. So when I was on that summit, I talked about whole foods and cleansing because that's what I knew. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know at that time what I was going to need to do to get from 163 down to, so from size 16 down to the size that I am now, which is like a 4 to 6. Wow. I had to figure it out, right? Yeah. So I had to do it after the call. But at least I felt like, at least I am not obese on this call. I felt very satisfied. So the journey had started. And I'm not even sure like the order of how the knowledge came, but I like to describe how what I did worked. But what I ended up doing was I opened up Fitness Pal And I thought, you know what? I just need to like make a scientific experiment on myself. Like I need to figure out what am I actually doing that is causing me to gain weight and what would cause me to lose weight. So I literally just just for maybe a week and a half or so, I put in my everything I was eating in FitnessPal every single day. And I noticed every time I did what FitnessPal told me to do, I would gain weight. So the standard, recommendations that we get from the mainstream about how many calories we should be eating, how many carbs, how much protein, how much fat, their recommendations were causing me to gain weight. And every time I was doing it different than that, where 50% of my calories were fat, I was losing weight. And I was like, what? Because at that time, I still didn't know about insulin, and I didn't know that insulin was the fat storage hormone, and I didn't know the impact of the different macronutrients on insulin. So I was really surprised. It's not that I thought that fat made you fat. I just couldn't believe how much fat, like percentage of my diet that I was eating to lose weight, that I would have to eat that much more, right? So once I figured that out, and I noticed certain things, like every time I ate a yam or a potato, I would literally go up sometimes 4 pounds overnight. Now, a lot of that is water, but it's showing you how it's causing inflammation in the body. And then if you keep eating like that, even though those are healthy whole foods, if you lose weight, they are not.
Sugar index.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
So then I just realized, okay, like which foods are like the high fat foods, keep my protein moderate, out of all the diet systems out there, pretty much everyone agrees on moderate protein, right?
Yeah.
So that was simple. And that helped a lot, right? Because having a background as a vegetarian, I had a tendency to not eat enough protein, right? And this happened with me on a primarily plant-based, I was trying not to be vegetarian anymore because I'd been vegetarian for 13 years. I was trying to incorporate animal foods in my diet, but I was having a hard time doing it because I was so indoctrinated into cooking in the other way. So I basically just figured out which foods not to eat, which foods to include in my diet. And then I literally figured out that year, like how to have those ratios. So I was getting the 50% fat, and I was literally eating the same every single day. Like it was ridiculous. So it worked. I got another 10 pounds down, but then that's interesting, right? Because most people would not be satisfied to stay on a diet that took them an entire year to lose 10 pounds.
Right. They would think something's wrong here.
Yeah. They would think something's wrong. They would quit on the approach of eating healthy, and they would try another new fad diet. And then they never ever get to where I ended up getting by just sticking.
We want everything fast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You have to stick with healthy eating. You have to up level your standards and your health consciousness and what you're willing to literally even tolerate bringing into your kitchen, right? Like it's literally a standard up level.
Right.
And then you're not fighting with yourself every day, right? You're just like, this is what I eat. This is what I don't eat. And when you're on that journey, you have to be really more strict about that. When you're at your ideal weight and you're healthier, you have a little bit more leeway to be moderate about things, and you're not going to become obese overnight. But when you have a goal, you've got to be more extreme. So I accidentally gained that weight back because I moved across the country and went back to my vegetarian diet. Right? I went at a default, to my old cooking, which is lots of lentils, lots of dal and rice and sourdough bread and the beans and, all that stuff. Right. Delicious, whole foods. But if you have a blood sugar imbalance, what we call insulin resistance, and it doesn't matter if somebody believes that they because a lot of people think of insulin resistance as a conversation for people who are diabetic.
Exactly.
It is a conversation for everyone in this culture.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and this is one of the big learning parts of it. So I ended up gaining back, but this is the interesting part. I only gained right back up to 163, right? Because I had changed my weight set point with the cleanse because I was that much healthier, right? My insulin resistance was that much less because of that increase in health.
Wow. So that tells how important a cleanse really is.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can use it multiple times on your journey to your ideal weight. Every time you hit a plateau, this is something healthy you can do for yourself So then you get off track, you're never going to go back to that, high level of weight.
I've done cleanses like that for 25 years now, and
cool.
It's magical.
Yeah.
Really magical.
Yeah. And so many people are afraid to do it, but it's so healing on your body, and you have to focus on what the new foods you're going to get exposed to and how pleasurable and exciting that will be, instead of focusing on all the things that you're like afraid to give up and don't want to live without.
Right. The things that we're addicted to.
Yeah. Exactly.
And oftentimes after a cleanse, you're not addicted to those things anymore.
Oh, exactly.
Unless you think you are, and you go for it, and then
and you start the cycle again.
Yeah. So, wow, that's so fascinating.
Yeah. So I basically just continued to eat in a way of understanding this core concept is that insulin stores fat. So if I don't want to get fat, then I need to eat more foods that don't stimulate insulin. Mm-hmm. So the focus of my diet was literally to have all my vegetables be non-starchy vegetables. So I would never have to count carbs, because if you're eating, natural, non-starchy vegetables, you're always going to be eating the right amount of carbs. Your body is never going to tell you to binge on cucumbers, right?
Or celery.
Yeah. If you do that, or even cauliflower. Cauliflower, you can make it so good you might binge a little bit, but it's so low in the natural sugar, say compared to a potato, that there's not going to be a consequence on your weight for that, right?
Right.
So with those, that way of thinking, and so there's the carbohydrates stimulate insulin. So you eat foods that are naturally low in carbohydrate, but you don't have to count them, because they're like, basically, if it's not starchy, it's fine.
Exactly.
If you need more carbs, your body will tell you to eat more. If you need less, you won't crave them, right? You can just follow your body. And then with protein, you just eat, like you should eat 20 to 30 grams of protein with each meal, depending on your age and your activity level. That's where I find women have more trouble, because we tend to be less into the protein foods. So I actually have to focus on eating those. I never eat too many. It's more like I need to eat more, right? Still now, I have to focus on that. Mm-hmm. But your protein stimulates fat burning hormones, right? And this is another missing piece for people. But it doesn't stimulate much insulin at all. So it's not going to cause you. So if you, eat meat, that's not going to cause you to gain weight. And then what causes you to produce the least amount of insulin is fat. The thing that people are telling us we have to avoid.
Exactly.
Right?
And it's so silly.
Yeah.
That makes everything taste so good also. It's a gift.
Exactly. And it's so satiating. So then it stops you from overeating, right? Like, for example, if you gave me a platter of like store-bought Nanaimo bars made with refined sugar, and then you put beside it the Nanaimo bars that I make that are made with real butter and no sugar and are sweetened with erythritol, like there's only so many of those I can even eat. Whereas the platter of Nanaimo bars with sugar, that's going to stimulate a blood sugar up and down, which will make you want to binge, and you'll eat and eat and eat all the sugar. Then you'll stimulate your insulin and you'll store fat. Whereas the ones you make with the ingredients that are high fat, no sugar, you're going to get satiated, and you've hardly stimulated any insulin.
I've never heard of those bars. What are they called?
Oh, sorry, I'm talking Canadian language. It's New York Slice.
New York Slice bar?
Yeah, so sorry. I'm like, everybody knows about them. So we call them Nanaimo bars in Canada, but in the States, they usually call them New York Slice.
Never heard of them.
Yeah.
I'll have to look it up. I'll Google it.
Yeah.
What is some of the emotional side to weight release?
Right.
Do you work with people with that, and how did that work with you?
Yeah, so the reason why I could eat my the same natural whole foods diet that I ate before I had children, and I was 125 pounds. Then I have children, I'm still eating that diet, I'm 155 pounds. Then I'm 36, I'm still eating that same diet, and now I'm obese. The diet hasn't changed, but I've changed. So the things what happens during the childbearing years for women is that they go into a state of chronic stress. And stress means that you have high cortisol. Cortisol stimulates insulin.
Right.
So you're not even eating and you're storing fat, right? Like it's like literally you're stimulating insulin just by stress.
Yeah, I did that for 15 years with 5 children.
Right.
Darn
yeah.
it.
Yeah, and this is why. Yeah, so what's happening for women after they have babies when they can't lose weight is that they've now started this journey of insulin resistance. Right?
Yep.
So and it's triggered by the stress. Now, some people do just also eat a bad quality diet, right? And those people actually are pretty easy to get results with because they don't have, it's not the stress isn't causing it, their diet's causing it. It's actually easier to deal with the diet than the stress, right?
Right, exactly.
Some of it is relentless and requires things like getting a divorce to get away from it, right? Like big things that people need to shift in their life, acute stresses they need to face that will stop them from having that chronic stress in their life. And it takes a lot of energy to face those things.
It does. You're absolutely right. And part of the whole thing oftentimes with holding weight is holding emotions and not wanting to face things. I know I hid my whole life in tent dresses and in denial about a lot of things. And when I started facing things and dealing with emotions, then the weight released.
Yes. And a lot of people have that experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you talked about 8 blocks, weight loss blocks that cause body imbalance.
Yeah.
What are those, if you can go over?
Sure. Yeah. So basically my perspective, and this is based on weight loss physiology. So we've talked a little bit about weight loss physiology. We've talked about hormones and what certain macronutrients, when we eat them, how they impact our hormones, whether they cause us to burn fat or to lose fat. So that's one side of weight loss physiology. Another side of it is that our body is all interconnected and we have all these different organ systems in our body, organs and systems. And when any of those organs or systems are out of balance, that can cause weight loss resistance. And what that means is that in order to lose weight, you have to heal first. You have to heal the imbalances in your body. Now, one of them is insulin resistance. So we've covered one of the 8 weight loss blocks, right?
That's a huge one.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody who's overweight has that one for sure. So
exactly.
Yeah, so my approach, the Delish diet, is an approach that heals your insulin resistance, right? It helps you heal your body. Now, some people have deeper issues than that, right? They have digestive issues, for example, right? So there's like digestion blocks. There's blocks like when it gets more intense, you have elimination blocks. You can't even get toxins out of your body. You can't go to the bathroom, right? You might end up with a toxic liver, a sluggish liver. That's another way that your body would be blocked from losing weight. Then, once your digestion and elimination is so bad for long enough and your liver can't compensate for that anymore, then you end up with leaky gut, autoimmune issues, right?
I had that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And all of these, and then we've got the endocrine system, which is like connected with the thyroid. That's another weight loss block. And then we have the nervous system, right? If you're constantly in fight or flight, your cortisol's high, you're not going to be able to lose weight. So we have to, bring balance to the nervous system, and then also the estrogen, right? So having estrogen dominance is a major issue for people that blocks them from being able to lose weight. And one of the major things that contributes to that is obesogens. They're chemicals in our environment that we can't break down properly, and they actually cause estrogen dominance.
Wow. So environmental toxins like not drinking purified water.
Yeah.
What else? The air we breathe.
Yeah. Just like go to the store and buy something and it's off-gassing all these chemicals.
Plastics.
What we put on our skin, what we, wash our hair with, all these different things.
Yeah.
So, the general public thinks that to lose weight is simple. It's just eat less, move more. But there's there's just so much more to it, and every single person is an individual. So their weight loss journey is going to look a little bit different than one person. One person, I'm writing a book right now, and a person that doesn't have a lot of major health problems is going to be able to read that book, put that into practice, and not really need it individualized. and they're going to get results, right? Whereas some people, they're going to need to work with a practitioner because they have one of those 8 weight loss blocks that they need to bring into balance so their body can like actually heal and then be willing to let go of that weight, because that weight isn't there to like bother us and make us miserable. It's like our body is literally screaming to us by this symptom called fat that something isn't right and it needs to change. Right? And that's not just the physical side of things, like our health needs to change, but you know, on the stress side, it's like something in our life needs to change. We've been putting up with something, settling for too long, and the body is saying no. It's trying to protect itself, right? So there's all that aspect. And so for me, I think like, you know, you can feel like a victim to your weight, or you can say, I'm going to actually use this as a catalyst to transform my life. As I transform my body, I'm going to transform everything and completely like change it, like use it as a good thing.
Right? A total house cleaning of your life as well as your house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow. That's so beautiful.
And it's so much more empowering, right? And then you're literally not only changing your life, but everyone you touch's lives are changed by you up-leveling yourself and then giving back in some way, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, because you'll affect your friends, all of your family. When you start to change, they'll change with you. So you get to be the leader.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, you've been such a wealth and a gift today, Sherry. Thank you so much. Do you have a free gift for our listeners today?
Yes, I have a diet webinar called How to Lose Weight Without Dieting.
I'll take it.
Yeah. So it's basically a lot of the things I talked about today, a lot more going into not so much exactly like, you know, what to eat or what not to eat, but more of these like systemic issues that, you know, they come together to cause us to be susceptible to weight gain. So we want to actually look at all of these things simultaneously. And it just basically walks you through my approach to losing weight without dieting and addressing all the other important things in your life simultaneously.
Wow, that's a huge gift. Thank you so much. I have so enjoyed you. Is there anything you want to end with? Just put on an exclamation point.
Yeah. You know what? Just like trusting your body. Like nobody ever could convince me that they could not attain their ideal weight. Like that is so ridiculous. Your body wants to be at its optimal state of health.
Homeostasis, right?
Exactly. And so you have to change that homeostasis that it's at right now to be at a higher level of health. And that's the beauty. Once you get to a higher level of health at your new homeostasis, your body actually tries to hold on to that health, right? But it's possible. And it doesn't, you know, it's not even like just possible for weight loss. It's like, you know, any health condition that you have, right? Like there's unfortunately far too many people think they're a victim to disease and that somehow diseases just drop out of the air and land on people or genes fire for no reason, right?
And they're stuck with it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You need drugs to fix it.
Yeah. And maybe if you're going to do nothing, right? If you're going to change nothing, well, then you're going to go on that same trajectory of, you know, decreasing health and taking another drug for another symptom, for another blah, 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 and it goes on, right? Or you can stop that pattern and make a change and use it as a process to grow yourself.
Exactly. I heard years ago that somebody that I met said he was diagnosed with stomach cancer and he heard about drinking cabbage juice for 3 weeks. His cancer was gone.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, why go through chemo and hair loss and the expense?
Yeah.
Naturally.
Yeah, there's so many stories of that. So yeah, like, so another thing would be like, learn from people who have done what you want to do, right? And like, watch their success stories.
Yes.
And get inspired, and so that you believe that you can do it too.
Exactly. And I loved your website and I downloaded some of your diet suggestions. I mean, it looks wonderful. The bliss balls that you have.
Oh yes, lots of recipes.
Wow. Yum. I love it.
Yeah, I'm eating way more decadently than I did before. So
yum. So what is your website?
It's delishdiet.ca.
Beautiful. So I just want to thank you again. And to our audience, just click on the link below and you can get Sherry's free gift. And I just thank you all for listening today. And you're a gift, Sherry. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Bye.